What's up, guys? This is the Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel this Saturday morning. Got home like after 1 in the morning from work. Very, very aggravated this Saturday morning. Um, Somebody had spoiled to me the results of TNA Impact, and I'm a little ticked off about it, and I'm gonna talk about it. And for those that don't want to know about the next few weeks of TNA Impact, cut this video off. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I am going to talk about it in this video. And there's a couple other issues I want to talk about as well. I'm really ticked off at Dixie Carter. I'm really ticked off at TNA. I'm really ticked off for the simple fact that AJ Styles is no longer in TNA. He gave a farewell speech to the fans at his last match, which will be seen in the upcoming weeks on TNA Impact, um, as well as he faced Magnus for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match, and obviously Magnus won because AJ Styles is gone. The number one man, the guy that's been here from the very beginning of the inception of TNA, is no longer with TNA, and for me, that just you don't know how much that pisses me off because AJ Styles was the heart and soul of TNA for all these years, and I don't know what the hell Dixie Carter is doing or what she is thinking, but you know, if you couldn't come to a contract agreement, come to a short-term agreement and give AJ what he needed, but instead you're paying Ethan Carter III for what? To pin a referee? Give me a break. You're paying Zema Ion for what? To be a DJ for the bromans? Give me a break. What are you doing? There are so many other superstars that are ready to leave TNA, and I think in the upcoming weeks we're going to see it. Um, we have the Feast, or Fired briefcase situation coming up. You're going to see another superstar leave. I'm really ticked off about this whole situation. I really didn't want to say anything, but as of reading all this, it even gets worse. TNA recently went back to Universal Studios, Soundstage 19, where they're doing their TNA shows and their tapings. What happens? Somebody wants Soundstage 19 for their city Walk of Fame. And guess who that is? Friggin' Vince McMahon. Have you done enough damage to all these other wrestling promotions already? Do you need to put the nail in the coffin to TNA? What is your point? What is your problem? You had all these other facilities all around the country. Why did you have to choose Universal Studios Soundstage 19? But of course, why else? What's going to happen when TNA folds, Vince? Are you going to hire DIXIE as your Raw general manager? Is that what you have in mind? To me, right now, wrestling is really in dire straits. I've really been down on TNA for putting up a mediocre show, but how can you put up a great show when you don't have the superstars to back you? And who is to blame for all that? It's the financial backer, none other than Dixie Carter and her family and their Panda Energy Company. If you don't want to continue spending money for TNA, find a buyer. Let somebody else take over. Don't put them into the ground to the point where you're going to close down, and then what you're going to do? Write them off as a loss on your taxes. Simple as that. But for Vince McMahon to want that particular soundstage for his City Walk of Fame is, tell me, I don't care what anybody says, it's not a coincidence. Vince has done this kind of thing right from the get-go. He's done it to the Crockett promotion. He screwed them over of a cable company deal for their pay-per-views. He said, if they're on, I'm not going to be on. He's done this so many times in the past. He took care of AWA. He's demolished so many other wrestling promotions. And people were saying to me, well, what about Ring of Honor? What about Ring of Honor? That's where Vince McMahon brings up his up and coming stars. The issue there is when he gets them, he don't know what to do with them. This is why the glasses are on. There's just so much dissension. There's so much hate. I love watching WWE. I love watching TNA. And it's getting to the point now where, the more I read, the more I find out, the more I get so upset with Vince McMahon and what he's done to the wrestling business. It just makes me sick to my stomach. And all of us are putting money out of our pockets to make this guy a billionaire that he is today. And is it fair? Because no, it's not fair. Because he doesn't listen to us wrestling fans. All he cares about is what he thinks is going to be right for business and what brings him in money. He doesn't care what we want to see for matches, who we want to see for champions. He doesn't care at all. That's Vince McMahon for you. The egotistical mindset, call him what you will. But as far as I'm concerned, I loved it back in the day when there was NWA, where there was AWA, where there was WCCW. And I can't blame Vince for that, just for the fact that the Von Erich family had so much, heartbreak, and there was just so many things going on with them. But still, Vince still took down one by one. And he wanted to be monopolized in the wrestling world, and he did. TNA came along. They made their mark. They had the six-sided ring. They had AJ Styles. They had the Samoa Joes. They had Jeff Jarrett. They built themselves to a point where, like in 2007, 2008, they were like on top of the world. The sky was a limit for them. The sky was definitely the limit. They had Sting. And when Hogan arrived in 2010 with Eric Bischoff, things went downhill. No more six-sided ring. We're going to go head-to-head with Monday Night Raw. Well, gee whiz, Eric Bischoff. You did it with WCW. You did it for 82 weeks or 86 weeks or whatever it was. But that was different. WCW and NWA were established for a very long time. TNA was around for what? 9 years? You think they were ready to compete with a company that's been around since 1953? What are you, nuts? What were you thinking? Were you part of the downfall of TNA? I know Hulk Hogan was. Hulk Hogan was definitely there just for the money. And when things didn't work out for Hulk, all of a sudden WWE called. Hello, Hulk. Oh, you interested in a match at WrestleMania 30 or being part of it? Boom. Jump ship. See you later, TNA. I'm headed back over to the WWE. Screw you, Hulk Hogan. But anyway, Vince McMahon, you're a piece of shit. You may be a genius when it comes to running your own wrestling company, but maybe not as well, because look where it's headed right now. You're headed downhill just as well as TNA is. And you know something? If TNA goes down after the first of the year, I'll blame it on Dixie Carter, and I'll blame it on you, Vince McMahon, because you bother with the little people. You always claim TNA's not a threat. So why, out of all the venues in the world, do you need to use Soundstage 19 for your city Walk of Fame? You piece of shit, you. I want to wish TNA good luck in the future endeavors. Unfortunately, now that I know everything that's going on in the next few weeks, I'm very disappointed. Really, I'm very disappointed. But there's not much I can do about it. And guys, it is what it is. And I'm gonna tell you something. Wrestling is out there for entertainment. But I'll tell you, when you read all about the dirty backstabbing behind the scenes, you say to yourself, is it all really worth it? You got to be kidding me, right? It's totally ridiculous. That's it, guys. Not a very positive video by any means whatsoever. I'm not very positive about wrestling at this point in time, and I will say this: I tell you what's on my mind. I tell you my true opinion. My true opinion may not be the right opinion for everybody, but I'm honest in what I feel. And if what I say is what I feel, I can't be faulted for that. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day. This is the Iceman on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel.